Washington has completely changed AOC.
Keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice, baked chicken with the skin on, yeah, Lowry's with black pepper, I'm fully seasoned with laughter.
What's good, 100%ers? It's your boy Dre, and welcome to my channel. Keep it 100, Dre. So, it seems like AOC has been studying Obama a lot recently, and I don't mean that in a good way. So take a look at this video.
What actions do you think can be taken to support movements towards peace, both between Israelis and Palestinians, as well as within the entire region, such as the Abraham Accords?
Yeah. So, earlier just now, you and I were talking about the what and the how.
Yes.
And I think that when we talk about establishing peace, centering people's humanities, protecting people's rights, it's not just about the what and the end goal, which often gets a lot of focus. But I actually think it's much more about the how and the way that we are coming together and how we interpret that what and how we act in the actions that we take to get to that what. And so what this really is about is that it's a question more than anything else about process. And so we really need to make sure that that we are valuing a process where all parties are respected and have, a lot of equal opportunity to really make sure that we are negotiating good faith, et cetera. That being said, I think that there's just this one central issue of settlements, because if the what that has been decided on is to state, then the action of settlements it's not the how to get to that what. And so, I think that that's a central thing that we need to make sure that we center and that we value Jewish and rather we value Israeli. We value the safety and the human rights of Israelis. We value the safety and the human rights of Palestinians in that process that is similar and that on equal footing. And so all of that is extremely important in that process.
So did you get any of that? I certainly didn't. So I want to preface my commentary by saying I actually met AOC prior to her beating Joe Crowley in the primary. And the first thing that stood out to me was, what stood out was she's actually much smaller than I would have thought. TV makes people look a lot bigger than they actually are, but she's a very tiny woman. But that's besides the point. So something that really stood out when I met her was that she would give straight answers. So the time I met her, she was campaigning in a bar near the Barclays Center. And I walked up to her and I was like, "Hey, you're AOC." I instantly recognized her because she was being covered by independent media outlets, and I knew who she was because of it. So I walked up to her and she's like, "Oh yeah." And we began discussing policies, and I was able to get her exact stance on certain policies. And after that conversation, I decided that I wanted to volunteer to help get her elected. So I made phone calls in order to help get her elected. And, she shocked the world by being Joe Crowley. And then she obviously won being in New York. And a Republican was not going to win the seat. So once she got through the Democratic primary, she was she was essentially the next Congresswoman of the 14th District of New York. So that's my history with AOC. So the one thing that I liked about her is that she gave straight answers. So if you watch this interview, did she give any answers? Washington has completely changed AOC, and I'm not just saying that. Before she got elected, or her first few months in office, I don't know if you remember, but she organized a protest outside of Nancy Pelosi's office when she first got in. You think she'd do something like that now? Now she calls Nancy Pelosi Mama Bear. What the hell is that? She said she would not vote for Nancy Pelosi unless Nancy Pelosi forced the vote on Medicare for all. But she, of course, voted for Nancy Pelosi to remain the Speaker of the House. So when people are upset and being critical of AOC, it's not because they're doing it for shits and giggles. They're doing it because she's different than when she first got into office, and the criticism is warranted. So, exactly what did she say during that interview? A whole bunch of words that meant absolutely nothing. Just like what Obama does. He's like, I'm not talking about the why, the how, the what, and who, the where, the why, the hut, the what. And if you combine 1 + 2, the square root of 4, it's the how of the what of the why of the where's my integrity. What are you saying? What are you talking about? You were asked about peace in the Middle East and how do you accomplish that? What are your solutions to possibly accomplish that? And you say absolutely nothing. The how, the why of the where of the square root of tomorrow. What? What does any of that even mean? None of that made any damn sense. Now, if she was asked that when she was first elected, she would probably said something like, I support BDS. A simple answer. Simple, straightforward answer. She would have said, I support no longer subsidizing Israel, giving them weapons until they treat Palestinians fairly. But now that she's been in office for, 2 years? No, it's more than 2 years. I believe that was 2016. No, it's not 4 years. However many years, either 2 or 4 years. Now she's been in office for that short period of time. She's completely changed. She's gotten soft. Now, I still believe she's not corrupt. She's not necessarily bought because she's not taking money from the private industries. She's taking money from the people, her small donors. So she's not technically bought, but she's not fighting for her people. So who cares if you're not bought? If you're still playing into the same system, who cares if you're not bought if you're not going to fight for the people? If you're going to be a typical politician, which none of us wanted in the first place, who don't give any damn answers. So that's what AOC has become as of late, a platitude and cliche machine. Saying a whole bunch of words that actually don't mean anything. Just like what Obama always did. Obama would say a bunch of words that if you're not paying attention, it sounds really nice, might make you feel good. But then you're like, wait, what did any of that mean? The how, the why. It's not about the how. It's not about the what. But the how do you get to that process? Give a damn answer. You're a very smart woman, AOC. Give an answer. The reason why you're not giving any answers is because you don't have the courage to. And that's why the left has been so critical of you as of late. So I remember I had a conversation with a person on Facebook. It was about AOC and about the left being very critical of her. And this person said AOC hadn't mentioned anything about Medicare for all even once in 2020. And I knew that wasn't the case because I remember her saying something about Medicare for all in a speech. But I really didn't want to search for the speech. But I'm like, that's definitely not true. He said, okay, show me one instance. So I figured it would be easier to go through her Twitter. So I went through her Twitter account from all her posts in 2021. And there was exactly one post that said the word Medicare for all in 2021. And that was on January 1st. And the next didn't say the words Medicare for all, but it said universal coverage for everyone, which is essentially Medicare for all. But she's only mentioned Medicare for all, anything that sounds like Medicare for all, 2 times in 2021 since Joe Biden got elected. One before she was so gung-ho on it when Trump was in office. Now Joe Biden's in office, mum's the word. Don't talk about it. And when you think about it, even though Joe Biden won the election on January 1st, 2021, Donald Trump was still in office, and that's when she mentioned it. So since Joe Biden has gone in office, AOC has been quiet about Medicare for all, and the Green New Deal. When she is very loud about it when Trump was in office. It's very easy to be very loud about something, fight for something when the enemy is in office. The enemy, because the Democrats and Republicans are both enemies in different ways, but they're both enemies. So it's very easy to be critical of Donald Trump. What we need you to do, and the reason why we elected you, was for you to stand up to the Democrats. You said you weren't going to be the same as the neoliberal Democrats, as Obama, as Hillary Clinton, as Nancy Pelosi, as Dianne Feinstein. But it seems like you're slowly creeping there. And that's the issue we have with you. And people's going to continue to be critical of you until you change that. Until you actually fight for the policies that you say you're in favor of. Be as progressive as your Twitter account. That's what you need to do. I don't care. I don't give a damn what you tweet. I care what you fight for. So that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post videos in the future. And oh, I gotta leave you with one more thing before the video is over, and that's the word of the day. The word of the day for today is platitude. Platitude is spelled Platitude. The definition of platitude is a remark or statement, especially one with a moral content that has been used too often to be interesting or thoughtful. So now I will attempt to use platitude in a sentence. Since getting elected to office, AOC has spewed nothing but platitudes and cliches. Hopefully I use that in a sentence correctly. So if you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post videos in the future. And use platitudes in a sentence in the comment section below so I know you watch the video to the end. Again, I really appreciate you watching the video. 100% this. Peace.
Well, I've been stacking up. Nah, really that ain't accurate, cause I just spent my whole damn advance in the past couple months just to compensate for times we ain't have enough. Ooh.